Yes, hi. Could you possibly transfer me to, or I'm trying to get a hold of Internal Affairs. Thanks.
Sergeant Frazer.
Yes, hello there. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name there. The phone cut out.
Sergeant Frazer.
Frazer, awesome.
Yeah,
Okay, my name.
Affairs.
Sorry again there. What was that?
I'm with the Internal Affairs, Denver PD.
Okay, perfect. That's where we were trying to get a hold of. Okay.
Okay.
So, my name is William Montgomery. I have a brother named David Montgomery. You can reach us here at 970-825-4421. I can always give you that later. But essentially, what we're trying to do is report something very, very, very serious, we believe. But we obviously are just laymen, so we need to have you guys look at this. Okay, so in a nutshell, last night my brother and I were stopped at the Anderson Academic Commons Library down in DU. And it was on the way out. We were stopped by security guards who literally made me believe as though they were cops. I asked if they were officers, or I asked if they were cops, and they said yes. And later on in the conversation, as it broke down, we're trying to argue why someone may have reasonable suspicion or not. And then once we finally figured out they didn't have a badge number, that's when we called in DU police, and we tried to explain the situation to them. They kept explaining that there's reasonable suspicion that security guards have on their land, stuff like that. And from our research, that there may be even with the shopkeeper's privilege, or at least with students, stuff like that. We personally feel as though the profiling didn't really qualify as reasonable suspicion if it was a cop. But what we're really concerned about is we gave our name up, and we were seized and asked if we were detained, and basically not believed to be let go, that we could be let go until our name's cleared. From the very beginning, like the first question I asked him was if he's a cop, and that's what made me stop and go forth and so on. And so we have a security guard that literally impersonated a police officer and did an act under that guise. And we're attorneys. We've dealt with this so many times in other jurisdictions. We're up to like 30 cases now of other trials we've won of cops doing this. They're not going through maps and stuff. Similarly, so we catch this stuff on audio tape now, and so I actually have an audio clip of the entire event, which I'm going to try and get up onto YouTube like all my others, where he admitted that he was a cop, and then later took that back. And then basically the two cops, the ones I'm reporting to you here, we tried to get to the bottom of it with them, and they kept arguing different concepts like detaining is not seizing. They couldn't understand what a level 1 or 2 or 3 type of encounter is. And so we were just trying to explain to them that we thought it was a cop. We thought we were physically seized with a level 2 encounter, and that without any sort of lawful justification, we felt as though it was like a Walmart policy where they can ask you for your receipt, but they can't actually stop you if they're not going to actually stop you for like shoplifting for a full charge
for an actual offense.
Yeah. And so we have the two names of the officers. We have the audio. We can get you when we can. But yeah, we have, I think, 2 police officers conspiring to otherwise ratify a impersonation of a security guard to be a police officer.
Wow.
Okay, what was the length of time of this contact?
It was about an hour last night.
What time?
From 2 to 3.
2 to 3 a.m.?
Yeah. Yeah, we were just leaving the library after they closed, or as they closed.
Right after they closed.
Yeah, we were there leaving the doors at about 2:01, 2:02.
And these security guards, they approached you and asked for ID?
Yes. Yeah, and they...
Did you provide it?
After
we stopped the first time and he kept following us, he was going to trespass us.
I got it. Okay, so when he first asked us to stop, we were at the doors, and we looked at him and said, we have to go. We got to get going. If basically the equivalent of, if you're not going to physically detain us like a copper with full reasonable suspicion, we thought it was a still level 1 encounter on the streets. But we still thought...
Did you provide ID?
Yes. Yeah, my name was Rand. Yes, absolutely. We did not want our names ran. If we knew it was a security guard, we would have just kept walking. Yeah, so your records...
So you gave them ID?
Yeah, and we asked them if we were free to go, and they said no until our name's clear.
Okay, who'd they clear it through?
Denver PD. You guys should actually have our records now.
Okay, are we talking DU officers that are present or Denver police officers?
I'm sorry. The DU security guard, non-police officers.
Campus
there were
security.
like campus security. There were 3 of them there, and then we called in 2 Denver police officers to report the false imprisonment and or impersonation. And so I have
So there are no DU officers per se.
yeah, there is no such thing as a
DU security guards and Denver police officers.
exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're from Fort Collins, so the only difference there is that CSU PD are officially sworn-in officers.
And they're
Correct.
considered cops.
Yeah, and they're actually just regular cops.
All right.
Yeah, so these guys are just security campus police.
So the security guards stop you. They detain you until the arrival of Denver officers.
Well, they were just doing their own investigation. They ran our names and then said that we were free to go. And then once that all happened, that's when we called in Denver PD so that we could substantiate. Well, we were trying to get a police report started, a witness statement.
What was
Right?
the amount of time that the security guards detained you?
It was
It was like
5 to 10 minutes, maybe 15. He was holding us. He said until he could go get a hold of the librarian to ask them questions about us. So we felt like it was kind of they weren't really detaining us for us investigation purposes, but to basically to get other people to help them with their investigation. So that was another reason why we felt as though there might not have been reasonable suspicion there in the first place. But, ultimately, the reason I'm calling is as far as I can tell legally, only officers of the law can have reasonable suspicion, and that basically only everyone else gets to have something akin to probable cause, but it's not really, because it's just kind of like a citizen's arrest. You have to witness a crime, and then only then can you hold them till a cop gets there and so forth.
Correct. And what was it? So the security guards held you there for 5 to 15 minutes. The officers were requested, and they got there in what amount of time?
So once they let us go, right after that, we were just sitting there for a couple,
5-10 minutes.
for another 5-10 minutes until the police showed up, and then we talked with them for maybe another 20-30 minutes.
Okay, and what they do?
They basically we're trying to go over the same definitions of words as us, and we were trying to describe to them what a level 1 or 2 or 3 encounter is. Things like that, and the officer basically we caught them frying or flipping their they're contradicting themselves, and so she said things like there's a difference between being detained and seized. She was trying to say that they never had graduated to a level 2 encounter, because level 2 is when you get put in cuffs for custody, which she said the cuffs can come right back off. But I tried to explain to her that you don't need it.
Were you ever placed in handcuffs last time?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but we.
Were you ever patted down at all?
No, fortunately no.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So, but the fact that we consented to what we thought was police authority, we were detained as if it was a police encounter without any physical need to be touched. If someone says stop and you stop.
What kind of a complaint do you have on the police officers?
Okay, so they essentially didn't know their definitions of the law enough to ascertain that any other elements might be met of either false imprisonment or impersonation. I was trying to explain to them that I thought it was a cop initially. She said all sorts of excuses, anything basically just to ratify that what they were doing was not wrong.
Did you get security guard names?
I actually did not get those security guard names, but I have it all on audio.
Officers' names.
Yes, M.E. Watkins and E. Arellano. I have their business cards.
M. Watt. Okay, what's Watson's badge number?
06108.
Okay. Any other?
And Arellano's is 08058.
And what's Rolano's name again?
Just E dot Arellano. Arellano.
Oh, Ariano.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Ariana.
Yeah. Spanish there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we never actually, because of the convolution of the definitions, we were basically trying to get something to the point where we could get a police report because we felt as though that our complaint wasn't even being taken. She literally told us that she won't even take statements
Because she can't even open anything.
because she said she couldn't even open anything. And so I said maybe a conspiracy or suspicion for false imprisonment, you could open it up or something like that, anything. And so that's why we're calling you guys, is because technically I don't feel like you guys would even be able to know about this if it's not for us. And we have this audio that can really, really, really explain that this. I think her definitions were wrong enough that what we were trying to explain, what we got her to explain on a fried side is we always use examples. And so she said that basically, like as an example, if you're a skateboarder and someone doesn't want you on their land, they can't actually physically seize you and detain you to go get your picture taken and get your information in order to ban you.
Because it's not a state offense.
It's not a state offense or anything like that. It's not a charge. It's it's not like they have like a citizen's arrest type thing. It's just simply a formal warning process. And so she kind of understood that there's no way that a security guard can have a level 2. And so she kind of kept pushing that we were in a level 1 encounter with them. But then she said things like, well, did they say you were free to go? And it's like, yeah, they did. But then that's the whole point, is they said I wasn't free to go at one point in time. And so forth. And so the audio is actually really, really, really explanatory. I'm shocked that I was even able to extrapolate what I have here. A lot happened last night. I think, but yeah, the absolute scary thing is right away I asked if he was a cop. I asked if he had a badge number. He didn't answer and started going off on back to the call or the stop real quick. And then basically once we finally drilled down later, because of the way he was answering things, it didn't sound like he even knew what reasonable suspicion was himself. And that's when we found out he didn't have a badge number, and that's when we said we need to call the police. So yeah.
An investigation would find this out, but maybe the security guards contacted you in reference to an ongoing investigation that in you just leaving the library.
Sorry.
But of course they're not going to tell you that. So you encounter with security guards. I mean, you flat out asked, "Are you police officers?" Is that correct?
Yep, that was my first question.
You told me you asked that, but you didn't tell me what the answer was.
Oh, I said no. It was my first question, and his literal answer was yes. I said, "Here, I can play it for you."
Yes.
You have that on audio tape.
Yeah, I can play it for you right now. In fact, it's
No, I don't want to hear it.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I literally was like, "Are you a cop?" And he's like, "Yes."
Yeah, no, he didn't say yeah. He said, "Yeah, I'm a cop."
Yeah, he actually
said,
"I'm a cop." Use the words. That's why we were like, I don't think security guards and cops can be interchangeable usually with those words.
We're very detailed to make sure people say everything. We're not vague, so that's why.
Okay, guys, what's your end game here?
Okay, so the officers there never took a report or anything like this. We feel as though this audio should be analyzed by someone superior to them, and possibly, at the very least, the original charge of impersonating a police officer is a really big one there. And then basically these people, based on their conversations, might have conspired to let that happen.
Our original thing was just to file a police report. That was it.
Yeah, actually, that's really what we're trying to do.
And they wouldn't give us the police report to even write down last night.
Yeah, so that's actually really, Dave makes a really good point. That's what I was trying to get at originally, is due process basically.
Was the security guards there at all when the officers were there?
Yes.
Yeah, all 5 of us were talking there, yeah. And so we literally just wanted to...
Did you tell them this guy said he was a cop when they first contacted us?
Yes. Well, not when I first, but it was through the conversation. It came out, and I tried to explain more and more that we had evidence, we had audio, that we started the conversation off with.
Discussing the difference between campus security and...
Yeah, and then we got all sorts of tangents of the difference between campus security and... or that if they're an employee of the owner, that they have special rights and stuff. It's actually really juicy audio. We basically, I think we caught...
We'll get it in due time.
Yeah.
If we need it.
Yeah.
But
So your basic complaint is that the officers did not take a report for
just false imprisonment.
officer impersonation.
And potentially false imprisonment.
Our original was just false
Okay.
imprisonment.
Yeah.
Is it your intent, and that this really doesn't have have anything to do with it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Is it your intent to seek civil restitution?
Unfortunately, yeah. In our position, we have already been. We're literally up to our eyeballs in paperwork legally, and so when we have any of our time wasted, it becomes very expensive in the sense that we don't really have a choice to pursue it ourselves. We feel like we need to be pursuing any sort of compensation for our lost time because it basically is taking us longer to get the other charges out now, and that means other people might even be able to be getting away with those crimes. We have a lot of 42 USCs coming out.
Consider this billable hours? Is that it?
Yes, absolutely. There's no lawful justification. It was a tort. It's we were falsely imprisoned against our will, or so I feel. Yeah, but more importantly, the thing is I feel like police officers under all circumstances should at least be able to take a witness statement so that the next higher up can see if there is an issue. She said there's no issue. There's no way we'll ever even touch this. Goodbye, kind of thing. And so that So that was Watkins, I believe.
The lady.
Yeah, the lady. Yeah, I think she's the one that was the. I don't know if her name is Watkins. But,
describe these two officers.
She was tall, middle-aged, blonde, and
was short.
The other guy was very short, Hispanic descent.
Okay.
He doesn't look Hispanic though.
Or no, he doesn't. Yeah.
And
Never mind.
your name is what?
William Montgomery. And so
your brother was with you.
yeah, and he's David Montgomery.
What's his name?
David Montgomery. Yeah, so real easy.
You live in Fort Collins.
We actually have a van that we are living out of while we pursue this paperwork that we got behind on. We used to have jobs in places, but we lost them through no fault of our own.
Addresses at all then?
Sorry, what was it?
Do you have addresses at all? Anywhere?
We have a
Mailbox.
mailing address. Yes.
Okay. What's that?
305 West Magnolia Street. PMB for private mailbox. 221. And that's just in Fort Collins, 80521.
How long ago did you graduate law school?
Never graduated. I was wrongfully convicted at 18 and a half and have been fighting it ever since. Judge Blair was my judge. She's the one that wrongfully convicted Timothy Masters. So at least I got some going for me.
Okay, what's your zip?
80521.
So is William hold a bar? You're David, right?
I'm William. Sorry, yeah.
You're William.
Yeah.
David hold a bar?
No.
Oh.
But we're basically we are pro se attorneys in our own cases where we're allowed to be, and so we tried to go to attorneys. They never gave us any good answers.
So your phone number is 970-825-4421.
Yep.
Correct?
And I have an alternative phone here if that doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't. It's 970-412-5463.
Okay.
So-
I'll submit this. It'll be assigned to a sergeant. It'll be failure to take a report.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's 3 levels. It's failure to take a report, and then basically that's so we can even find out if it's a false imprisonment or if it's a.
Yeah, we'll decide how that.
Exactly. I don't even care if it's not false imprisonment. I don't even care if it's not impersonation. We just wanted to get the report out so that you guys could take a look because we felt like that was a dead end that we were given. So I'm really glad you failure to report. I'm gonna have to go look up that charge now. I've never come across that before.
There is no criminal charge. That's our policy.
Oh, perfect. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a
There's no
policy.
crime being committed here
Okay.
at all.
Well, I mean, the crime would be if you.
At all.
If you were to investigate with the audio, the impersonation of the officer, that's still open because technically you haven't received the report yet. So there could be charges still.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
What happened last night?
Oh yeah, versus the cops themselves. Yeah, there's no charges for seizing or anything like that. Just failure to report.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's
just policy
it.
violations.
That was,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're not even concerned about you guys. Yeah, we're not pursuing
We don't
you
care
guys or
about
anything.
Denver police. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're not. We're just, failure to report, and then obviously, you guys would have probable cause based on the evidence potentially to charge
Did you have an
these
email or
people.
anything?
Yes. It's a Z for zebra, O for Ontario, I indigo, N Nancy, B boy, E Edwards, R Richard, G Gary, S Sam, and so Zoinbergs, it's kind of a weird one, at gmail.com.
Okay.
So, but yeah, thanks for helping clarify too for us. We're pro says that learn every day. So,
Okay, I heard enough.
thank you.
We'll
No worries.
initiate an investigation.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I'll get you the audio. I'll email it to you, the clip, once I put it up on YouTube.
Okay, why do you need to put it on YouTube before you send it to me?
I have literally, it's not even the most important one. Everything needs to end up on YouTube because of the actual context. We'll put it that way.
We're in 40 other cases.
Yeah,
that
we're-
we've won.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
send it to us.
Yeah, it's it's not specifically to spite or anything like that.
Yeah,
We just
yeah.
have a lot of stuff that we've been trying to get out regardless, and so YouTube ended up being the best avenue.
Whatever.
So
You want to send it to Kevin.Frazer,
Kevin-
Frazer, at denvergov.org.
awesome. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate this. Sorry for the trouble.
So when can I expect that to be sent to me?
In the next 2 days, we have to convert it to a video and stuff like that. So
Okay. All right. Have a good day.
thank you very much. Take care. Bye.
Bye.